Good morning, YouTubers. It's Uncle Lo. I really wanted to wake up this morning to kind of show you again how some of the beautiful sights and sounds and the background that I'm in right now. But I also wanted to take a moment is when you go on vacation, do you enjoy this time? Many people put themselves in situations where maybe you just partied a little too much so that the hangover in the morning becomes a little bit rougher. But for me, I really enjoy my mornings. I have a bit of a routine at home, but when you come on vacation, you're not necessarily going to come and do a regimented routine. You might just modify it so that you can have some personal time. And for me, that's the most important thing, is if you can review your day, look in the morning and see what kind of goals do I want to set today. And it's not work goals. These are personal things as how do I show gratitude to someone? Or what do I have to do to make sure that I show some self-compassion, right? All these little things will contribute to just an overall sense of understanding of yourself and a little bit of that well-being, just to kind of say, hey, look, what a gracious time just to put aside for yourself some self-compassion and give yourself a pat in the back, right? Because when you wake up in the morning, just to have a small little discipline during vacation, it goes a long way. But today I digress a bit. I just wanted to explain a little bit about parenting. You guys know that I do have a 7-year-old, a very rambunctious, smart, intelligent, beautiful daughter called Leona. And, sometimes anxiety and depression is a root because you believe that you can't do something. And as a parent, this is the hardest thing to accept, because you always, as a parent, am I doing good enough? Am I providing enough for my child? Do I have enough resources? What am I going to do for them in the future? Am I helping them advance in life, or am I helping them go back? And these are tough questions when you lay it on yourself. And many times they're not really warranted. When you're parenting, you got to look at the day-to-day rigors and see how you overcome some of these obstacles. I'm going to share a few points today on parenting is messy. Embracing a good enough parent is probably some of the best things you could do for yourself. I took a course about 2 years ago because when my daughter was 5 and I had the hardest personal struggles with depression and anxiety, I had to take a few steps back and say, oh man, if I can't take care of myself, how do I take care of my daughter? And these things are the toughest things when you look in the mirror and you can't accept the fact that you're being a good enough parent. You're doing everything that you can at that time frame, and they have their own personalities, they have their own charismas, they have their own solutions to things, and all we hear are just to guide them right along their way. But as I mentioned, parenting is hard and messy, and it's an imperfect process of trial and error. We all want to do well for our children. We want to be the best, right? And having them do the best they can every day. But the goal is not to be perfect. It's just to be good enough so that you can be a parent or a caregiver. Be yourself. There's no better parent than being authentic. This is one thing that my daughter reminds me at 7. She can verbalize now is, Dad, just be yourself, right? Dad's fun. Dad's curious. And I'm sorry, I have a mosquito going to town on me today. But yeah, she basically would say, Dad, you know what? You're so adventurous. You're so curious. I think we're just so similar that way. And it blew my mind, and it changed my paradigm when I heard that, because she believes that whatever that she's doing or learning is more than sufficient, because that's what she knows. And I'm so sorry, I'm so distracted by a fly right now, or a mosquito, because I feel like they're just having a buffet on me. But anyways, I also wanted to talk about distress moments, right? There are going to be temporary times of distress for your kid. And disorganization is normal in a child's development. When you go to their school, is it perfect? No. Is it messy? Many times, yes. Or is it chaotic? Is there a bunch of kids talking at the same time, right? They're not regimented. They're not all like necessarily quiet every single time. They're 7 years old, right? So these things are okay. Let's go to behaviors and let's think about challenging behaviors. Challenging behaviors can be a form of communication for children. We can practice being curious on, what our children is communicating, and to understand what's driving those challenging behaviors. You know, and when you have challenging behaviors, the best thing to do is not necessarily just go head to head and tackle it. Just being there side by side with your parent, with your child, can be a form of showing up and be present, curious, and perfectly most of the time. There are lots of contributing factors, but we know a positive relationship with at least one adult is a major contributor to building your child's behaviors, right? And positive behaviors and resilience. Because at the end of the day is you just want your child to be resilient, right? To be able to overcome obstacles, to be able to overcome some of their emotions that they might be feeling. They can't fact check everything. They rely on us, right? They rely on us. And my daughter sometimes will look in and rely on Google. But even she knows now that she has to fact check some of Google's. But she knows with us, we're going to give her the best advice that we can give. And the only thing that I can do is make sure that the facts that I give her are correct. I think the last thing I really wanted to focus on, and this works for children and for adults, is really taking note of the ordinary moments. I've learned now going on vacation, especially here in Diamante, that I'm really this small. And the reason why I say this is because when I look at the sky and how expansive it is, I look at the background and how beautiful it is. We are just this small. So when I think about Leona and the times I spent with her, it's the small times that make the biggest difference. It's the times when I'm driving her to ninja class and we're taking a 45-minute car ride. And I get to hear about her day, the little things that upset her, the little things that made her smile, and the little things that make her happy. And for me, those are the ordinary moments that make my life more enriched. And saying that, hey, Dad, you're doing okay. You're doing the best you can. And the best you can is the best for your daughter. Because there's no other person like your mom and your dad or your caregiver who can say, you know what? I'm authentic. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I do the best for her, but I cannot control the situation every time. I need to let her build some resilience. I need to go through challenging some behaviors so she understands, right? And she'll form her values. Because don't forget it, and I'll explain in a later segment, is we as adults don't form our front parts of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, till we're mid-25. So, we're going to make irrational decisions. We're going to say things, do things that are irrational, and we're going to do that all through our lifetimes. And as a parent, all we can do is hope that our children are safe and hope that we've provided a good path that's good enough just to start so they can find their way and be better than we have ever been. And I take solace in that because sometimes in depression and anxiety, like I said, it can lead to kind of a lack of confidence that you're doing the right things for the right people. And all I hope that you take away today is that generally we're a good enough parent, and being a good enough parent is probably all that we need. So today from Mexico to you and YouTube land in the universe, I do wish that you guys really enjoy some of the content that I have. It's sincerely something that it's important to me. And when I explain things, I just genuinely, when there's a mosquito by my face, there's a mosquito by my face. I don't need to edit that out. And you know, you as parents out there, I hope that you feel that you're doing a good enough job. And sometimes you might just need to pick up the slack. Sometimes you just need to slow it down. But whatever the case is, please press that like and subscribe button. Remember, Uncle Lo's doing this not organically through my friends and family at this point. I'm just here to make some content. And then as I put it out there, I hope some of you guys embrace it, show it to your friends, and like and comment. Because there's a lot more adventures for me to come. I got to meet some very, very resource, how do I say it? Resource rich people in the last few days, where, you know, you can make decisions in the 10,000s, in the millions on a whim of a moment. And I think that where I can be gracious with myself is that I think people will gravitate towards me because of the personality, the care, and the confidence that I exude. And it's not necessarily resource rich that gets you, you know, a circle of influence, right? Sometimes it's just to be there to be a good enough parent. Sometimes to be there to be a good enough friend. Sometimes it's be a good enough listener just for people that you might have just met. But whatever you do, again, from here in Mexico to your home, this is Uncle Lo, and stay tuned for Uncle Lo's next adventures. Hey, cheers.